so we're gonna get back into watching Beyond Belief. The third episode that I have downloaded is 2-3, so let's go with it.
Fact or fiction? Are they really that different? Beyond Belief. Fact or fiction? Hosted by Jonathan Frakes. We live in a world where the real and the unreal live side by side, where substance is disguised as illusion, and the only explanations are unexplainable. Can you separate truth from fantasy? To do so, you must break through the web of your experience and open your mind to things beyond belief. What you see is not always what you get. Take this line drawing of a man in profile. Is this an honest man? The answer is written across his face. During this program, you will be asked to distinguish truth from lies in stories that are designed to deceive you. We'll tell you which ones are inspired by actual events at the end of the show.
Oh, it says liar. Okay.
From this point on, be careful what you choose to believe.
Literally
Because the man
didn't
who
see it.
seems to be telling the truth may actually turn out to be a liar. Innocent until proven guilty. Our entire system of criminal justice is based upon that premise. Yet in their zeal to see the guilty convicted, some are too willing to deny others that presumption. Craig Hoffman was that kind of cop. His philosophy was, if you're brought in, you must have done something wrong. Hoffman was determined to get a confession for every crime that passed his desk, no matter how many crimes he had to commit in the process.
Sounds like
It was
cop.
5 p.m. on Tuesday when Sims was brought in again. It seemed like old times, except this time the ending would be much different.
Dun dun dun.
Look who's back. Officer Sims, watch and learn. Help me out here, Sims. I want to talk about the armed robbery on 45th last night. Now, you don't know about that, right? You didn't have anything to do with it, did you? I mean, just because we picked you up a block from the scene mere minutes after it went down doesn't mean that you had anything to do with it, right? And just because a witness picked you out of a lineup, well, that doesn't mean you're guilty of any crime, does it?
Where's my lawyer?
Oh, come on, Sims. We don't need a lawyer here. We're just talking. I mean, it's not like we think you were even involved, right, Sims? I mean, just because your rap sheet is a mile long, and just because you've been through the system so many times, they're about to name the revolving door after you. I mean, that doesn't even mean you were there. Go to hell. Officer Sands, readjust the restraints on the suspect, please. It's apparent that we need to have a more confidential conversation.
Tell him what he wants to hear, even if you have to take it back later.
Up yours.
Don't mess with this guy. This isn't some good cop, bad cop routine.
Officer Sands, hook him up and step out.
Hey, Craig, why don't you let me talk to him and see if I can...
Get out. Sims. Confession is good for the soul. Just think of me as your priest.
I'm not Catholic. And I didn't have anything to do with any holdup.
Last chance.
What are you gonna do, kiss me?
Sure. Get ready to pucker up. But first, let's dance.
believe just because I know cops do this kind of shit, you know? I've seen videos of cops attacking handcuffed and restrained people, and it's just...
That's enough! He needs a doctor.
When he confesses, we'll get him one. McCarthy! McCarthy, get in here and help Sands take this piece of trash down on the lockup. Hey, Sims. Tell me when you're ready to talk.
I didn't do it. This time it really wasn't me.
The cops' business was done. Now it was up to maintenance to clean the wall.
You can talk to me. Think of me as your priest. You know, confession is good for the soul. McCarthy! Yeah. Man, that was supposed to be gone. How do you tell the cleaning crew I'm gonna stop checking for green cards? They don't stop slacking off.
They tried to clean it, but that stain won't come out.
Then get it painted.
Yes, sir.
Now, where were we? Officer? It keeps bleeding through. Well, put some plaster on it. What, I gotta do your job as well as my own? Huh? Just get it done. Now, let me get this straight. The burnt spoons and the scales that we found in your apartment, they're not yours, right?
Hoffman! Sorry to break up your little party here, but we gotta take his pictures again. The film was bad.
Take him.
Did you hear about Sims?
What?
The guy we had in here the other day? Armed robbery?
Oh, the guy with the nosebleed, huh?
Yeah. Well, it seems some crackhead in general lockup didn't like the way he looked at him. Bashed his head in. He's dead.
Well, let's hear it for the crackhead. He did something the justice system could not. He stopped the revolving door.
What happened next was reconstructed by investigators. Somehow, Hoffman found himself locked inside the room. And he must have been extremely frightened by something he saw. Because Craig Hoffman, an extremely fit police officer, experienced a fatal traumatic shock to his nervous system that night. They found Hoffman's body in the morning. The official report said heart failure, but nobody could explain the marks around his throat, as if he had been strangled by hand. Weeks later, another man confessed to the armed robbery, clearing the name of Sims. The bloody handprint never appeared again. What's the true explanation here? Was the handprint on the wall really a message from an innocent man? Or was it an illusion caused by some defect in workmanship found in the wall itself? If so, why did it reappear after the wall was plastered over? What about the strange death of Craig Hoffman? If it was a heart attack, why did his neck show signs of strangulation? Did he accidentally strangle himself as he was trying to gasp for air? Or was it some retribution from beyond? Is this story true? Or are the handprints of a writer all over it?
Alright, so with that one, at first I wanted to say it was true because I don't like cops very much, and I've seen a lot of videos of them doing that exact same thing, but then it got a little bit on the far-fetched side. You know, the idea that you can't plaster over or paint over blood was that's kind of ridiculous. And I kind of feel like if the dude really died in real life, it was because the other cop just killed him because he was such a piece of shit. But yeah, I'm gonna. The first part is true, but the main like idea of the story with the hand being what killed him is bullshit. So fiction.
Out if this story is true or false at the end of our show. Next, screams haunt a schoolroom on Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Is there a more annoying sound than the screech of chalk against chalkboard?
Don't do it. I hate you.
We all remember teachers who, despite years of classroom experience, couldn't stop from making that sound, and students who would make the sound just to annoy the rest of the class. But there is something highly unusual about the chalkboard in our story tonight. The sounds it emits are far more intense than the usual annoying squeaks. In fact, they are sounds that seem to come from the depths of hell itself.
Oh, I think this is the episode that I remember. It is. I remember this one, and I'm pretty sure it's true, but I remember, this is one of the most distinctive stories that I remember from the show.
Cut it out. What'd you do, Mama Kisser, huh? Did you hit a wrong note in choir?
I was an honor student. I couldn't believe I actually had to stay after school in detention. It was a strange place to be, but not nearly as strange as the events that would take place later.
So what is it, Mama's boy?
I faked a note to skip gym, okay? My, you're a real desperado.
Maybe everyone doesn't aspire to your level of criminal mind.
Oh, really? Well, I do.
What about you, girlfriend? Why are you hanging with us nasty boys?
I'm good in math. I let a friend copy answers on my test.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's cool, Claire.
Well, this is our good friend, Mr. Mumbles.
Hey, don't... Yo.
Hey, Mr. Mumble! Hey, you!
Don't you know he's a deaf mute?
Hey, Mr. Mumbles!
That's not funny.
What? I didn't do anything.
Come on, Molly, man. That's how we got here in the first place, man. Sit down, leave that man alone.
This school sucks!
You're gonna get us all in a lot of trouble when Mrs. Sawyer comes back.
Huh?
Oh my god. What was that?
Hey, man. Ain't coming from out there, man.
And where's all that screaming coming from?
I don't know.
Draw another line.
What are you, a nut?
Just do it.
Oh, man, that's coming from the blackboard.
Okay, this is impossible. What the hell's going on?
Someone's in trouble, and they're calling for help.
How do we know where this person's at?
Give me the chalk. We follow the screams.
Maybe one of us should stay behind and wait for Mrs. Sawyer to come back.
Yeah.
Good. You stay here. Just keep drawing on the board. Come on, you guys. What are you waiting for? What do you guys think?
I don't know, man. It's hard to tell.
No, it's coming from that way.
You're right. You go first, then.
It's locked.
Step aside.
Thinks he's the shit.
All right, I got it.
That knife door, that looks like a nail file. It doesn't even look like it's a knife.
Where's it coming from?
Okay, so nothing.
Over there!
Look out! Brandon!
Yeah, help me over here.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Hurry up! Slide him out! Slide him out!
Guys, help!
Drop it! Drop it!
Hey, guys, move right down.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's gonna be all right. Get him out the smoke.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Careful, careful!
Come on. He's okay. Watch out for this hole.
Hey, easy.
Okay. Over there. At the door.
Settle down. Easy, easy. Come on, man. Easy.
Easy.
All right? They can't understand me, huh?
What's he saying?
He'd like to thank you both.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hey,
As long as you
sorry. Okay.
Could this story be true? Could the sounds of a man in distress really be communicated through the chalkboard? Or did the students just imagine the board was transmitting those sounds? Were the sounds actually coming from the vents around the building? But then, the janitor's vocal cords were in no shape to make any sounds in the first place. To figure out whether this story is fact or fiction isn't an easy exercise. But that's your assignment.
Find out if this story is true or false at the end of our show. Next, a trip to the woods takes an unexpected turn on Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
How many reports have you watched and read about the dangers of stress? Stressful, aren't they? Fighting stress has become a major industry. Squeeze this, rub this, listen to this. All designed to help you unwind and reduce a condition that has been blamed for everything from high blood pressure to hiccups. Diane Lerner was feeling the major symptoms of stress in her life. She was determined to shake off its effects and find a place where she could relax and enjoy the world again. But is there such a place? Diane is about to find out.
Hey, Ross, it's me.
Diane Lerner was taking her first time off since she started at her company. And on the way up, she spent most of the time on the phone to the office.
It's outstanding.
Driving.
On my desk, I've got this.
It'll wait till you get back, Diane.
No, it won't. I want you to.
You're on your first vacation in 2 years. Chill out, Diane.
Listen. I worked up some new numbers for dramas. Now, when you check out the spreadsheet, I want you to look at line number 30.
Diane, we're not gonna fall apart here. At least not totally. I promise I'm not gonna give that account to anyone else. Don't worry. Throw the phone away. Goodbye.
Ross, don't hang up. I'm serious. Look, just do those few things for me, and I really appreciate it, okay?
Bye,
I'll get back
Diane.
to you later.
You too.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Safe driving was not Diane Lerner's strong point. But somehow she appeared at her dream getaway right on time. The woodland cabin was just as she pictured it. The key was left just where the landlady promised. And the view was just the remedy Diane needed for the tension that she'd been feeling lately. The inside of the cabin had the smell of hickory and pine wood, and the furnishings were perfect. If Diane was looking for peace and quiet, this forest setting was the place. In fact, it was so quiet, it was almost spooky.
I didn't expect someone to be here. I'm Mrs. James. Oh, right, of course. I spoke to you on the phone earlier.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm so sorry. I see I frightened you.
Oh no, I'm a bit unnerved.
What?
I almost got into a car accident on my way here. I had dropped something, and there was this huge boulder that was jutting out right into the road, and I turned and, well, I almost didn't make it here for my vacation.
I'm glad you made it in one piece. I was just tidying up. This place has been closed up for some time.
Oh, it's great. I mean, look at this. It's even more beautiful than you described.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. I think you're going to be very comfortable and cozy here.
Oh, I know I am. I've got a lot of work to do, but I just needed someplace I could really concentrate.
On your vacation. Oh, okay. Well, the bedrooms and the bath are upstairs. There's the kitchen. And you probably passed Osgood's store on the way a few miles back?
Oh, yeah.
Now, they make their own ice cream. You've got to get the pistachio while you're there. So I think I'll leave you alone so you can work.
Great. Where's the closest neighbor?
Oh, that would be me. If you cut straight through the woods, I'm about a mile due east. So look, I've left my number by the phone. If you need anything, call. Otherwise, I'll just check with you in a few days. And I'll leave the local paper on your porch. And I think that just about covers it.
Thank you.
So enjoy.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
It was early the next morning when Diane started hearing the voices.
And remembered she had not taken her antipsychotic.
She ignored the sounds at first, thinking it must have been the wind through the trees. But then they came back again.
Excuse me, kids. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me, kids. Hey, children. Hello. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Are you listening to me at all? Hello.
Clearly not.
Suddenly they were gone. It was quiet again.
Oh, and by the way, Mrs. James, you know the children that live in this area?
There aren't any children living in this area, not for miles. In fact, the people who live close by have children who've grown up and moved out of the house.
Really? Well, there was a bunch of kids playing around in the yard and making a lot of noise.
I remember this story.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Are you really okay, my dear?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm fine. I just have to finish up this work, that's all. Anyway, I don't think they're gonna come back. Thanks for calling, Mrs. James. Bye.
Goodbye.
Hey, I thought I told you kids not to play around here anymore, okay? That's enough. Hey, I'm not kidding. Why do you persist on playing this game? I want you all to go home now. No.
Come now.
Hey, I'm not joking anymore. I want each and every one of you to go home. Go on, get out of here.
It's time.
Go away.
Come with us.
The peace and quiet of the forest was forever disturbed now. The next day, she would feel differently about it.
Are you ready now?
For what?
You know.
No, I don't.
It's time.
Time for what? What, this?
Come with us.
Okay. I'm coming.
Diane! Woo! Hi, Diane! Hey! Diane!
Let's look at the paper again. Another accident the same day involving 6 schoolchildren. Was the woman that Mrs. James encountered that day only the spirit of Diane Lerner? Did she truly become one of the spirits of the woods? Did she join the ghosts of the children who died in the bus tragedy? Or was our witness, Mrs. James, a bit overexcitable? Maybe she imagined that Diane disappeared. Could it be that Diane was disappointed with her paradise and slipped out without telling Mrs. James? But what then are we to make of the newspaper article? Is the truth easy to spot here? Or is it difficult to tell the forest from the trees?
Okay, so that one, initially I wanted to say it's not true, because if it was, who was telling the story? You know, I don't remember her telling, was it the lady she was on the phone with that she was telling about the children? But if it was, she was already dead at that point, so... And while I do believe in ghosts, I don't believe you can, like, interact with them as if they're human beings. And so there's so many multiple layers of this story, because there's this old belief that when you die, you are escorted to heaven by... It's supposed to be somebody familiar to you. Somebody that makes you feel the most happy and at peace. Normally a mother or a father or somebody you loved very much in life. Because being with them again will make the, I don't know, the moving on easier or something. But normally it's not just a group of random children that happen to die at the same time as you did. You know, that story is just, there's so many things in it. Because like I said, I believe in ghosts, and I believe that when you die, a loved one escorts you to wherever you're going. But I don't believe that it's just a bunch of random people, and I don't believe that somebody would be interacting with you long after you died. And so there would be nobody to tell this story if it was a story of a woman who didn't know she was dead. You know what I mean? Like, well, but you're dead, so who's telling the story?
Find out if this story is true or false at the end of our show. Next, Fate visits a corner drugstore on Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
For those of us who grew up in another generation, the corner drugstore was a magical place. You gave the man behind the counter an illegible note from your doctor, and he would fill tiny bottles with pills and potions that had the power to make you feel better. And perhaps most magical of all, the man knew you by name. Everett Spencer was a throwback to that earlier time when the pharmacy profession was a personal one. But now, the modern era is starting to close in on him like a virus, and he has no prescription to fight it off. Everett Spencer was always a hero to his grandson.
That
That's
pill
why he
looked like
became
a
a pharmacist
Mentos.
too. In the old days, Everett was quick, sharp, on top of all the latest breakthroughs. But nowadays, he was slow, set in his ways. Just post the prescription on the board and type out the label. The new junior partner, his grandson, Martin, was going to change all that.
There we are, Granddad. The family business.
How about that? I couldn't be more proud.
The first customer that day was a steady patron of the pharmacy since Martin was a little boy.
Ruth, how are you doing this morning?
Doing just fine, Everett.
The wind stands
Do you
no
remember my
chance against this
grandson,
lady.
Oh, of course. Martin is a pharmacist too. He's going to be working with me.
It's nice to see you, Mrs. Fulton.
Thank you.
Martin, could you snag Miss Fulton's prescription off the shelf?
Sure.
It must be wonderful having your grandson back here again and working with you, too.
It's a proud day.
Granddad?
Yes, that's it.
There's no drug indicated.
Yes, we know what it's for, don't we, Ruth? Now, can I get you anything else today?
No, this will keep me going.
See you the colonel.
Okay, bye-bye.
Granddad, what were those pills?
Oh, Ruth's been taking those for the better part of 20 years.
Well, there was no drug name. I mean, what if she forgets and she starts mixing prescriptions? I mean, you should indicate what they are, unless they're sugar pills.
That's right.
Why are you giving her pills that have no medicinal purpose?
Because she thinks they do.
Okay, Granddad, it's time we step into the 21st century. The only people who are prescribed placebos anymore are...
Sometimes people like Mrs. Fulton. Anyway, she swears by them. You heard her. They keep her going.
Grandpa, you're still typing labels with that old typewriter? Everyone's computerized now.
Everyone but me. I have no need to learn something so complicated.
It's easy, Grandpa. I could teach you. It would triple our business. Doctors could email us directly. We would finally be able to compete with the chain pharmacies.
I enjoy my relationships with people. I like talking to the doctors.
Well, now you can talk to the doctors about your golf game and not prescriptions.
You're not going to convince me that technology is more important than human relations.
One thing I like about it is he's a fairly good actor, so he's actually believable as this old man that,
with you?
It's me, Grandpa.
that doesn't want to move
Here it
into the
is, our
21st
link
century.
To the 21st century. I know, you're not happy about it, but this one is so easy, Grandpa. Everything we need is already loaded. We just plug it in. I got it all set up. Now, with this bundle of wires, you can go on an African safari.
I'm too old for a safari.
Well, not if you could do it in the comfort of your own chair. Set this baby up.
I've got to mail these letters. Mrs. Samuels will be in to pick up her medication. 10 milligrams of Epicet. The prescription is right here. I'll put it on the board.
Dr. S.L. Hampton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called his office yesterday. I gave them a new email address. I'll bet they emailed that prescription.
Well, then
I'll
there's
be
a
right
double
back.
prescription, dumbass.
I'll take care of Mrs. Samuels.
Martin could tell that his grandfather was upset, but he felt that in time he would thank him for all this.
I'll be right there.
Martin would never forget this customer, not after what happened that day.
Hi, can I help you?
Yes, I'm picking up a prescription. Harriet Samuels.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Samuels. It'll be just a few minutes.
Martin went to the board where Everett had posted Mrs. Samuel's prescription, but the prescription was gone.
somewhat of a hurry.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Hampton, 10 milligrams of Epicet. I was just about to fill it.
Is there a problem?
No, ma'am. No, I just need to reconfirm the prescription on our new computer system. We're linked up with Dr. Hampton's office, so this should just take a second.
This was the first test of Martin's system, the high-tech approach. But for some reason, the prescription wasn't coming up.
As I said, I'm in a hurry.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be right with you.
Hello, Mrs. Samuels.
Hello, Everett. Perhaps you can help. I'm in a hurry, and I think there might be a problem with my prescription.
I'll take care of it right away. I'm sorry for the delay.
Thank you, Everett.
Do you have the prescription?
It's not on the board. I couldn't find it.
Did you call the doctor?
Well, I was trying to get it on the computer first. I mean, I know that you said it was 10 milligrams of Epicet, but...
Carolyn, it's Everett Spencer. I've misplaced the prescription for Harriet Samuels. Can I have a minute with S.L.? S.L., I'm sorry to bother you. I've managed to misplace the prescription on Harriet Samuels. I know it's for Equicet, 10 milligrams, but 1 milligram? Oh, thank goodness I called you. Sure. Goodbye.
My God, Grandpa. 10 milligrams would have killed her.
I'm sure it said 10 milligrams. We'll be right with you, Mrs. Samuels. Would you fill it for me, please?
At that point, Everett walked over to check the board again.
Martin? I thought you said it wasn't here.
Who was watching over Spenswick Pharmacy that day? Was that fated prescription simply misplaced? If so, how did it end up back on the board? Did Everett's grandson find it and put it back himself, too embarrassed to tell his grandfather what really happened? But then, how did it disappear in the first place? Maybe there was some angelic spirit watching over the pharmacy. Does this strange story of a prescription go down easy? Or do you find it hard to swallow?
I'll say that one's
If
true.
the story is true or false at the end of our show. Next, a scary story of summer camp on Beyond Belief. Fact or
Ooh,
fiction?
scary.
For most of us, summer camp evokes sweet thoughts of fresh air, fun in the sun, and
Never
mischief
went.
after dark. But for some children, summer camp recalls more bitter feelings. Memories of isolation, homesickness, and the taunts of their peers. All Anthony Shaw wanted to do was have a happy, carefree summer away.
Is this a snake
Everyone
bite
knew
one?
he was different. They were about to find out he was special.
I think I remember this
I never
one.
really wanted to go away to camp. All I really did there was read, and I could have done that staying at home. I actually liked the rainy days the best because they gave us free time, and I could lose myself in a book. I really didn't give anybody any trouble. I just wanted to be left alone. I couldn't figure out why the other kids wouldn't allow that to happen, especially Marty and Darren.
Don't be a jerk, okay? It's me.
Keep your hands off me.
I need your help. Will you help me?
With what?
I need to find Darren. I can't find him anywhere.
Marty, I'm getting tired. We've been looking for over an hour.
I know. I'm getting hungry too. At least the rain quit a little bit. Did you hear that? Yeah. I'll check the back tent. You check the storage tent.
Ooh, the boogeyman's gonna get you.
You should have seen his eyeballs, dude. They're like, I can't believe it. Good year for ketchup.
You guys are such jerks. That wasn't funny.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Nothing. Just having a little fun.
Well, who was screaming? It sounded like someone was getting murdered.
Yeah.
Anthony, go to your tent.
You two clowns jump with me.
Sit down. Is there something seriously wrong with you guys?
It was a joke. He got hurt.
Anthony did. Now, I want you guys to lay off him.
This was totally rad. You should have seen him. Man, he almost put his...
Knock it off.
Hey, that's something to eat. Guys, get us something to eat. Shit. Hey, watch this, watch this. Rise and shine, Anthony. It's another fiber-filled snack day at Middlebury. Man, he's putting us on. Come on, Anthony, wake up. Anthony.
Hey, they say the rain should be letting up. Let's get dressed and moving.
Richard, get Anthony. I think there's something definitely wrong.
Hey, Anthony, we're going canoeing today. Your favorite. Get up. Where's Marty and Darren? Did they do this to him?
I don't know. I haven't seen him all morning. I didn't see him either.
His pulse is racing.
Huh?
Anthony, you okay?
Nightmare. It was weird. You know how sometimes in your dreams you do something and you don't know why? I dreamt that I got out of bed and went running through the woods. All I knew was somebody was in trouble and I was the only one who could help them.
We're not gonna get us. Let's leave over there. Come on. Come on. No. That's a wolf. That's a hungry, hungry wolf. Help! Help! No! Nice. Stay
Want another? Here you go.
Oh, it's gonna throw it.
Go down the hill slowly behind me. Don't run or he'll chase you.
And of course, they immediately
Never
run.
even growled at me or anything. Just kept staring at me.
How'd you put us back here? We were just in the woods with Anthony.
He's been here the whole time.
We were just in the woods. A wolf almost attacked us. He was covered in blood. Anthony saved us. I mean, he got us out of there. It just happened.
It couldn't have been him. Anthony never left the tent.
Where's the cookies? It's the ones he fed the wolf.
So what kind of a dream was that anyway?
How could Anthony have been asleep in his bunk and outside in the woods at the same time? And if he was in his bunk the whole time, then who saved Marty and Darren from the wolf? Did Marty and Darren, in their terror, only imagine that Anthony was there? But what about the detail of the chocolate chip cookies? Could they have imagined that too? Is this a story of a person being in two places at once? Or is it just another tale one would tell around the fire at summer camp?
Next, you'll find out which of our stories are fact and which are fiction when Beyond Belief
I'm
returns.
gonna say that one's false. I remember the story, but I don't
Now
remember
it's
the
time to
outcome.
see how well you did judging whether our stories tonight were fact or fiction. The plot about the detective who couldn't remove the stain from his wall or his conscience.
Fiction.
Real or unreal?
Oh.
Tell him what he wants to hear, even if you have to take it back later.
Up yours.
Don't mess with this guy. This isn't some good cop, bad cop routine.
Officer Sands, hook him up and step out.
Hey, Craig, why don't you let me talk to him and see if I can...
Get out.
If you guessed this one was based on an actual event, you're right. It happened. How about the tale of the terrifying sound that seemed to come from a common classroom chalkboard? True or false?
I think I remember this one being true.
Okay, that's it. I promise I'll never cut Jim again.
This way.
The story of a school haunted by the sounds of screams was inspired by actual events. It's fact.
1 for 1.
Our next story was about the woman who left her high-stress job for a heaven on earth.
Fiction. Because again, who's telling the story? If she died on that trip there.
Excuse me, kids. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me, kids. Hey, children. Hello. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me. Okay. All right. You know, are you listening to me at all?
Did this story of the Garden of Angels ring true to you? Not this time. We created it. What about the story of the vanishing prescription? Did you think this one was based on reality?
I'll say that one's
I
true.
managed to misplace the prescription on Harriet Samuels. I know it's for Equiseth, 10 milligrams, but 1 milligram? Oh, thank goodness I called you. Sure. Goodbye.
God, Grandpa. 10 milligrams would have killed her.
This tale of a mysterious force protecting a pharmacy is based on an actual incident. It's real. A story that took place at summer camp of a boy that seemed to be in two places at once. Fact or fiction?
Down the hill slowly
I'm
behind me.
gonna say
Don't run or he'll
fiction.
chase you. Never even growled at me or anything. They just kept staring at me.
How'd you put us back here?
Was this a figment of a writer's imagination? No. This one was inspired by truth.
3 for 2. That's not bad.
So what was your score tonight? Were you able to separate fact from fantasy? And how bizarre does reality have to become before it reaches a point that's beyond belief? I'm Jonathan Frakes.
Join us for more stories next time on Beyond.
I got, what did I say? 2 for 3? 3 for 2? 3 right and 2 wrong? It's not awful. But being fair, I do very explicitly remember this episode, so I'm surprised I got any of them wrong. But I'm kind of stupid, so that happens. How'd y'all do?